Hello friends, in this video I am going to talk about nakshatras because they are very important components of a horoscope reading and they should not be ignored. So let's first understand what are nakshatras. So nakshatras are a group of 27 stars or constellations which are placed inside a horoscope. So how are they placed? I'll just tell you. So the horoscope is made up of 12 signs and each sign is of 30 degrees. So which means 12 multiplied by 30 gives you 360. So a horoscope is of 360 degrees. So since I told you there are 27 nakshatras, so 360 divided by 27 would give you 13.2 degrees, which means each nakshatra can occupy a space of 13.2 degrees. So each sign can have up to only 30 degrees. So which means it can occupy only 2 complete nakshatras and 1/4 of the third nakshatra. So this is how the nakshatras can occupy in themselves within a sign. So in this series I will be talking about the Ashwini Nakshtra, and this is the very first nakshatra which falls in the sign of Aries, which is the first sign of the Kal Purush Kundli, and there are 3 important planets which are governing the Ashwini Nakshatra. So what is the first planet? Since it falls in the Aries sign, so it is ruled by the sign of Mars. The second is its lord. The lord of Ashwini is Ketu. So the energies of Ketu would also be seen in the people who are having their moon or lagna or sun sign in the Ashwini Nakshatra. The third is the energies of the sun. Yes, the sun is exalted at 10 degrees and this nakshatra is up to 13.2 degrees, which means sun is also going to be a very important planet whose energies would be seen in a person's life who is having his moon or lagna or sun under this nakshatra. So since this nakshatra is all about strength, is all about ego, is all about fame, is all about higher authority, and it's all about healing energies and mysticism. So the person having this nakshatra will have all these qualities of all these 3 planets. So it's very good to have your moon sign falling in the Ashwini Nakshatra. Then you would be very fond of traveling and you could be also very fond of horses. See, the Prince Charles, he is also having his moon in the Ashwini Nakshatra and he is very fond of horse riding. What do you say, this is this Hitler, he is also having his sun in the Ashwini Nakshatra. So we all know that Hitler was very authoritative in his career life. He was very dominating and he wanted to be famous, he wanted to be very powerful. That is because his sun was in the Ashwini Nakshatra. So as per the planets, I hope you have understood. So now I will tell you the mythological story of the Ashwini Nakshatra. The story goes like this, that sun was born. It was a hot ball of fire. It was very hot and it was in a lot of discomfort. So in order to relieve his son, the father decided to divide the sun into 12 parts. This is all mythological stories, so you don't have to think it literally. So the father divided the sun into 12 parts, and each part of sun then controlled the solar system, and we are part of one of those solar systems in which all the planets are rotating around the sun. So there were some undivided parts, or you can say some parts which were wasted, they fell into the universe, and when they fell into the universe, a part of it was used to make the trident of Lord Shiva, a part of it was used to make the spear of Lord Skanda, and a part of it was used to make the disc of Lord Vishnu. So this is how the energies of sun was utilized. And when the sun grew up, his father decided to marry him off, and he found his bride in the form of Sanjana, who was the daughter of Vishwakarma. So he was married to Sanjana, and they were quite happy with each other. But Sanjana found that sun had lot of heat energy within it, so in order to relieve herself, she decided to go to her parents' place for a while, and she left her maid whose name was Chaya to take care of this sun. So while she had gone to her parents' place, this maid, uh, she and her husband's son, they fell in love, and they united. And when Sanjana came back, she was very devastated by her husband's deed, and she changed herself into a mare, and into a stallion, and she ran into the forest out of anger. So this the son wanted to bring back his wife, so he converted himself into a mare, and he ran to bring back his wife. There they reunited, and after a couple of months, they had two twins in the form of horse, which is called as, they were called as the Ashwins. So these Ashwins were the horses who had special powers within them, and they had the power to heal the gods. So they had certain very magical powers, and they were able to heal gods. They were the physicians of gods. So that's how it is said that people who are born in the Ashwini Nakshatra are like horse. They are very energetic, they are full of speed, they like to roam, they have got healing powers within them, and they are very magnetic also in their approach. So all these attributes are there in those horses and in the people who have their nakshatras in Ashwini. So what happens if your moon sign is falling in the Ashwini Nakshatra? See, moon sign is all about the mental setup of a person. So your mind, your thought process would be ruled by this nakshatra's traits. So you would be very much inclined towards healing others, towards medicines, you would be inclined towards traveling, you would be inclined towards fine arts, you would be inclined towards music and artistic things, and you would be inclined towards becoming more powerful. So what happens if your sun sign is falling in this nakshatra? So I have seen, if your sun is falling in this nakshatra, then you would be having a tendency to pick up a career as per this nakshatra's traits. So people having sun in this nakshatra would be very businesslike, would be very authoritative, would want to have an independent profession. They would also like to be in a profession where there is lots of sales happening. And what happens if you take up a career as per this nakshatra? You will end up being into military organization, you can go into police services, or you can go into hospital industry where you can become a doctor, you can become a surgeon, you can become a healer, you can become a mystic, you can go into astrology, or you could go into sales, or you could go into travel industry, or you could also go into art related fields. So there are various fields which are falling under this nakshatra, and you can easily take up these fields if your sun is in the Ashwini nakshatra, in the Aries sign. So this was about this nakshatra. What happens if your lagna is in this nakshatra? In that case, you would be prone to illnesses which are coming under the Aries nakshatra of Ashwini. That is, you could have problems related to your head region, related to migraines, headaches, fevers, smallpox or measles. So these are some of the areas of health concerns where you have to take care of yourself. So this was all about Ashwini nakshatra, and I hope you have followed the video, and you will be using the points which I have told you in this video for your chart readings, and they will help you a lot in understanding about a person's areas of interest and a person's mental setup. These nakshatras are very helpful while we do the mundane readings also. So like the prices of commodities, or the election results, or the political scenario or the environmental issues, they all can be seen by the use of nakshatras. Or if you are doing a matchmaking between two people, so you can see in which nakshatra is their moon sign falling. So based upon that you can understand how compatible they are. So these are some of the areas where nakshatras can be used. Suppose you are wanting to find a Shubh Mahurata for travel, and if your moon is falling in the Ashwini Nakshatra, then you can be very happy that your travel will be very successful if your moon happens to fall in the Ashwini Nakshatra. So likewise, there are various areas in our lives where these nakshatras can be very helpful. Also, one more thing, other than the moon, sun and the lagna, you can also use to see the traits of a given planet if it is falling in a particular nakshatra. Suppose if your Venus is falling in this nakshatra, then you will have problems related to your relationships, you will have sexual problems. If your Saturn is falling in the Ashwini Nakshatra, as you all know, Saturn is debilitated in this nakshatra, so the person would be fearful, the person would be very cautious about his image, and he would not be very hard working under this nakshatra, because Saturn doesn't consider Mars as its friend. So the person could be having issues related to Saturn, that is air related, windy related issues. The person could be having knee related problems or backbone related problems if his sun is falling under this nakshatra. So likewise, many things can be seen if you start using nakshatras. So here I am ending my video, and I'll take up the Bharini Nakshatra in my next video, and we'll be seeing what are the traits of the Bharini Nakshatra, and I'll see you in my next video. Until then, bye friends.